And welcome back to the CSS podcast. I'm your host, Dave Wolfers, and across the dining room table is Charlie Crawley. And out in Colorado is our third member of our team, Sam Wolfers. And somewhere in Cincinnati is our special guest. He's the current head golf coach of Ball State University, entering his 25th season. Dang, you're old, Fleck. A fellow classmate. I think you need to check your BSU page there, bud, because it says you graduated 89. I don't know if there was something wrong. You had to go back and make up a credit for Hayes' class. I really don't know, but you might want to check that. Okay.
I'm trying to save years right now, Wolf. It's all about saving energy.
Yep, I get it. And he's also one of my best longtime friends. Fellow classmate, and he's got probably one of the greatest golfing nicknames ever. And we'll get into that as we reminisce and stuff. But just an overall class act and a really good guy and a great coach, Mr. Mike Fleck. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Could be way better.
Yeah, it depends on what we're talking about. Life is fine. Sports is not the greatest right now. So.
Yeah,
Mike, how was practice round?
Coldstream Country Club is pretty sweet. I can tell you that.
Yeah, how'd you guys shoot today?
Just a practice round. So, just trying to get acclimated with the golf course and, get ready for tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow's going to be a pretty long day with 36 holes, but I was following the Bengals late in the afternoon on the phone and got back here to the hotel and saw the last 6 minutes and kind of put a little damper on everything, that's for sure.
That is true. Well, yeah, I mean, I was doing okay until the start of the game, and then the dog went outside because he heard me yelling, so it's just one of those things. But speaking of the show, we have a great show today. We are going to have instant reactions to the Bengals' loss to the Cowboys, the Cincinnati Bearcats' victory over the Miami Redhawks. We'll also give our high school football shout-outs. We'll talk Reds news. There is actually a lot of Reds news this week. We'll talk about our beer reviews, and we have a trivia question, and then we have some rapid-fire questions for our guest, and we'll also hear some stories from Mike here in a little bit. But before we dive into any of that, please hit that like or subscribe button and give us a 5-star review. Tell your friends about the show. We are all on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. And tonight is a special night. We are going live on YouTube, so we'll be able to see that. And if it works, we'll probably be going live from here on out. So that's on the Cincy Sports Scene on YouTube. So with all of that, just want to say welcome back, and let's get into the week that was. So we'll start with the Reds. And the recap here, my first question to you guys is, are they going to lose 100 games this year? Mike, what do you think?
They're going to be close. What are they, like 58 and 89 right now?
Did they win tonight?
They did win today.
Yeah, so they're 58 and 89, I believe, or something to that extent.
I'd like to think not, but
58, 89.
I'm not sure which way I would bet if I was a gambling man.
So they need
15. They got 15 games left, and they got to lose 11 of them.
Yeah. So they got to win 4. If they go 4-11, it'll be 62 and 100. And they got who they got coming up? They got Milwaukee, Pirates,
Brewers, Boston.
So they could.
I'll be my this one optimistic moment of a Reds fan this year. I will say they don't lose 100 games.
All right.
That they can win 4 out of their last 15 games. That's my one moment this year.
I'm going to say they lose 100.
Well, we knew Sam was going to say
Sam
that,
will.
So.
Yeah.
Sam probably thinks they'll lose whatever 0 and 15 is. So that would be 104.
I think they're going to. I think they're going to surprise us here. They're going to go down the stretch. They got 11 games left. 15 games left. They're going to go 8-7. 8-7.
I'm not being that optimistic.
8-7. the way Hunter Green pitched the other day and Lodoto, I think
That-
8-7, man. I think we're gonna. People are playing for their lives.
They can only throw the ball like what, 2 more times each, maybe.
Yeah, and they can only throw, not even 100 pitches because they're coming back from rehab. So, yeah, they'll go 4 innings and then we get the bullpen. So, yeah, it's one of those things that, who knows? We might be able to get them or we might not be able to. So, we'll play it from there, I guess.
So who's saying they lose 100? Just Sam?
Just Sam, Mr. Negative. So, Mike's on that. He wants to be a Reds fan, but he's optimistic, I guess. I don't know.
I'm diehard. I just I don't know.
How many games have you gotten down to this year?
Okay, I'm embarrassed. I haven't made it down at all.
That's all right.
Pretty busy summer. Pretty busy summer recruiting, and it's interesting over in Indiana. There's a lot of Reds fans. There's not a lot of Bengals fans, and there's a group of us that have a little chat. But yeah, I didn't get down there this summer. So
all right. I haven't been since Brian Price was the manager in his 3rd year, so it's been a long time for me. And I think that goes to my next question is the record of during Uncle Bob's tenure here, owning the Reds. He said he's going to bring a championship back. Despite promising the Reds, we're buying the Reds to win. Anything else is unacceptable. Well, apparently it's not, because their record as of today, with the victory, they are 1,251 victories to 1,386, and that is a 475 winning percentage. And in that time, they've had only 5 winning seasons in his 15 years that he's had the Reds. And I don't know, they're tied for the 22nd in the league with the 22nd for most wins during his ownership, and 22nd for only having 5 winning seasons. So, and he's only one of 7 teams to fail to make their league's championship series. So I don't know if that's winning baseball to Bob or not, but I know it's not to us. So I don't know what you guys' take on it is during his tenure, and you think he's doing anything worth a while or not?
So we have 5 winning. Oh, go on, Mike.
No, I was just going to throw out this stat because we've got this Reds text stream, and since World War II, the Reds' 9 worst win percentages: 82, 2022, 2015, 1949, 2001, 2018, 48, 16, and 17. So 5 of the worst 8 have been during the Castellini
era.
Leadership era. Yeah. That kind of stinks.
Bring back Marge, right? I mean, she just goes out and get the players.
Those words have never been spoken, so we just broke a barrier right there.
Well, at least bring back the spending. I wouldn't even say she spent. I mean, she was cheap and everything, but she went out and got players, I guess. So we'll see. The other thing, a couple of news. Hunter Green came back yesterday, and he looked really good. 11 Ks, 0 runs, 0 walks, and 6 innings, 4 hits. Did not get the win. Unfortunately, the Reds lost it. And then the other news is 7 of the AAA guys are going out to the Arizona Fall League. And Marte and McClain, they're going out there to get a little extra reps at shortstop. So, we'll see how they do. I don't know. Anybody got anything else to add with the Reds here? Sam?
Just to clarify, it was the bullpen that gave it up yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I thought so.
Well, it was
really the bats.
It was the bats, and Senzel. Yeah. Senzel came in to play third.
It was 1-0, right?
Yeah, it was 1-0, and ground ball hit to Senzel because they brought in an extra outfielder to play infield, and he fielded the ball and he hit the runner. So that's how they scored. So yeah, but it is what it is. So let's move on from the Reds because there's not a whole lot to talk about.
Other than the Hunter Green thing.
Hunter Green,
That's the positive.
That's the positive. Lodoto, they're actually, I think they're 2-8 in their last 10. So things are looking up, I guess.
Hey, let me ask you guys this because you're a little bit more connected. Who's our shortstop of the future? Because it's not Barrero, is it?
Doesn't seem to be.
It doesn't. No, if he can't, I mean, he's going to be playing the rest of the year. I mean, they gave him 3 days off just to try to figure out something, and I don't know. I mean, I think McLean will probably be up next year. I think he's going to be our shortstop, but then I don't know.
I'll go Ellie De La Cruz.
That's who I was going to go with
I think
too.
De La Cruz will be up next year as well, at least second half of the season, because he'll probably start at AAA, and I think just physically he's just like ridiculous. So he'll either be a shortstop or the center fielder,
or he'll be third base and Farmer goes back to short. I mean,
yeah, but De La Cruz is just way more of a better athlete. So
yeah, but Farmer's leading the team and with a 260 your batting average.
Farmer's fine. I mean, Farmer is a good utility. I mean, he's a guy who could play any position, and including catcher because he did play catcher for the Dodgers. So Farmer is a player who could be on a winning team, not as a starting shortstop,
right? No,
but as your 10th or 8th player,
that's best player.
right.
We're gonna have shortstops playing all over the field, though.
Yeah, we are. We've got a lot of shortstops, which is what Eric Davis was, right? I mean, he came up as a shortstop and they moved him to center field. So hopefully they can
Senzel was a shortstop.
Senzel was a shortstop. Billy Hamilton was a shortstop.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, the shortstops are supposed to be your best athletes. So we'll see what happens. The big thing is, can they hit at this level? That's what we need. We need to find somebody who can hit. So with that, let's move on to the Victory Bell, UC versus Miami. So I know Sam and Crawley, why don't you guys take that away here?
Well, UC took the lead in the Victory Bell series, 60. UC is now 60 and 59. So Miami must have had a commanding lead because UC's won 16 games in a row. Did I say UC or say Miami?
You said Miami. Yeah.
UC has won 16 games in a row. So Miami was, up until the last 2 decades, Miami must have, was quite a bit ahead. So, from a UC side, Ben Bryant, stats wise, he was good. 26 to 35, 337 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, he is the quarterback going forward. He would have to just completely fall apart over the next couple games for Prater to even really probably get a chance. I don't think Luke, I still say, I think I've said this in previous episodes. Luke Fickell is a old school nose tackle defensive player. He's not going to be a guy who's going to change just because, somebody's having a bad day or some people on social media are saying we need to change him. So
what? He doesn't listen to the CSS podcast here.
Oh, he might, but he doesn't. Still not going to make a change.
He ain't going to listen to us, huh?
So Ben Bryant's your quarterback, so we just need to accept that and move forward at this point. Because if he's not our quarterback, that means UC's losing some games bad. So ran the ball pretty well. There's some parallels right now between UC and the Bengals. They both just have to clean themselves. Like UC had 5 fumbles, lost 2 of them, interception, 10 penalties. Just that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the penalties,
talent wise and play wise. They're they should have beaten Miami by 40. Kennesaw they did by 60 almost. So it's just they just need to clean up the play. They got too many penalties and too many stupid mistakes and that kind of thing. And they still won by whatever they won by 3 touchdowns basically.
Yep.
So.
Did you see any of that game, Sam?
No, we were up in Boulder. I didn't get a chance to watch it. But, highlights. So obviously highlights are going to show all the good stuff. Miami's definitely a step up in competition from Kennesaw State. So, you can take a little bit more away from Bryant's performance against Miami than you could against Kennesaw. Charlie already mentioned the stats. Those are pretty solid numbers, no matter who you're playing against. You can put up 300 yards. I think that's pretty solid. I I'd say even if he has a rough game against IU next week, he'll probably still be the starter going into conference play. He'll probably just be the starter the rest of the year. I don't think Prater's even going to get an opportunity.
No, I don't think Prater's going to get an opportunity unless there's an injury, and then Prater will hop in. But talk on the street at the campus, some of the current students are saying that their freshman quarterback is better than Prater, just from a quarterback standpoint. So we'll see. We'll see if Prater ever gets his shot or if he has to move positions.
Well, my guess is he would move schools.
Yeah, he transferred.
He'd move schools before he would.
You think?
Positions.
Yeah.
There are so many teams out there, colleges out there. I mean, hell, if he was at Notre Dame, he'd be their starter.
Well, yeah, now he would be.
So I mean,
Definitely.
There's so many schools out there, good D1 schools out there that are needing quarterbacks that I think he'd get snatched up in a second.
Yep. And Miami was playing with a backup, so they blitzed UC early, got a couple turnovers, and capitalized on that. And then UC's defense sort of, after about the fourth series, they just clamped down and said no more. And they were solid. That was the UC defense of old. So
I really like the defense. I like that Ivan Pace Jr. I think he's
Miami.
He's
player.
A stud.
Yeah, Miami player. So one of those things. Ball State got a win yesterday, Hack. So that was pretty good on them, right?
Ball State did get a win. The MAC was a little interesting to follow yesterday. I mean, Toledo got blown out by Ohio State. And, obviously we picked up our win against the Murray State, which probably, was much needed and wasn't that challenging. But then, Bowling Green got Marshall and Eastern Michigan beat Arizona State. And obviously you had Miami playing UC. So it's it's been interesting early on following the MAC a little bit, with my affiliation and perspective. But I think Miami was actually picked by some of the coaches and league personnel to win their division and potentially even win the conference championship. So,
I don't know how that's. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to play out now with Gabbert injured, and I don't know if he's going to play. I think he might be out the entire year. So
yeah. So going back to your point about the quarterback at UC. I mean, the MAC is it's a quarterback driven league for sure, and I bet a lot of MAC teams would take him. If he's not getting reps there at UC.
Yeah. Probably so. I mean, he's got the legs, Mr. Football from Ohio. Passing's a little, that's not his strong suit, but accuracy's not. So it's getting better. So we'll see. All right, so let's move on real quick. Some high school football. There's a big game of the week last Friday night. It was Moeller at St. X. The stars came out. Zach Taylor was there. Let's see, Luke Fickle was there, Votto, Tyler Stevenson, Joe Mixon, a whole bunch of Bengals were there, and it was a very, very close game, and Mo took it 20, I think it was 2017,
yep.
And that's a big win for Moeller. I mean, St. X was the I think defending champ for 2 years in a row, and Moeller hasn't beaten St. X in 4 years, I think it was
2018.
2018 was the last time they beat them. So that was a good win for Mo, and they keep rolling. And then a couple others, just Lakota West looks like they are still the cream of the crop in the GMC. Shout out to Coleraine for getting their first victory finally, and Kings defeated Milford, battle of the ECC undefeateds. And one that breaks our heart here, Mike. East Central 38, Batesville 0. What happened? But other than that, you got anything?
East Central cheated.
Yeah, probably. So you got anything to add, Carly?
Well, yeah, I got to do my shout out for Fairfield. They're still undefeated. Beat Oak Hills. Sorry, Klotzes. So Lakota West beat Princeton, who was undefeated coming in. So that was a big win for West. So now it's Fairfield plays West in a couple weeks. Actually, Fairfield plays Princeton this week, which will be a difficult game, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Wyoming and Reading played. They were both undefeated coming in, and Wyoming beat them 31-0. So
Right.
there goes any concern that Wyoming's not going to win the CHL. Madeira is still undefeated, so Wyoming and Madeira are the two left. And Went Woods is also undefeated in the ECC, so it's down to Kings and Went Woods and out of there, who's going to kind of come from that. And the last thing I'll say is just an individual shout out to Jordan Marshall, who's the running back from Moeller, who 7 straight games over 100 yards. He's like he's considered maybe the top running back in the country at this point.
Wow. So
only a junior. So he's already got like 30 offers from every big school. So
Ball State offer him.
I don't know. He doesn't play golf, does he?
He might. Who knows?
Right.
All righty, let's move on. And this is what we're here to talk about, right? The Bengals. I don't know.
I think the good part's just is over.
Yeah, we talked about the Reds. That was the good part. So, wow. Well, let me start it off by saying, I'm gonna quote my dad, and I'm gonna call him this until they prove me wrong, which they haven't in 52 years. They are the stinking out of Bengals, and that is what he calls them, or called them, and the stinking out of Bengals and stinking out of Reds, and they live up to that moniker. Instant reactions. I'm going to start it off saying, Cooper freaking Rush looked like Joe Montana against the Bengals in those 2 Super Bowl drives. First 2 possessions, they went 18 plays, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then on the last series, when you absolutely needed a stop, he just dissected them and got him in field goal range, and the guy kicked the field goal to win it. I don't know what, you go back to last year with Lou's defense, and yes, the defense is good, right? Statistically and stuff like that, but I don't think they do enough to confuse a backup quarterback or a rookie quarterback, because it seems like every rookie that plays against the Reds, either if it's a starting pitcher or a rookie quarterback or a backup quarterback, they have career games. You look at last year, Mike White from the Jets. Week 2, who did they lose to in week 2 last year?
Justin Fields came in.
Yeah, exactly. And they had no answer for Justin Fields. And it's so frustrating when they rush 4. They don't give them, very many different looks, and he has time to, go through his reads, and he doesn't look like a fool. When they put pressure on him in the second and third quarter, he did not do anything, right? And they gave him different looks, and I don't know what the game plan is going in to start. I don't know, but when Brandon Allen comes in, do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to drop 8 all the time? Heck no, they're sending 9, 10 right after them, and it's like I just don't understand what we're trying to do defensively early on in the game. I just don't. So that's my hot take. So
yeah, they're not aggressive enough to start. I mean, these, last week against the Steelers, this week both offense and defense were not aggressive from the start. It just kind of looked like they were out there and they weren't going to dictate the terms. They were just going to go with the flow and, hope a backup quarterback played like a backup quarterback. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still in the NFL. You still have to pressure him. You still have to make it difficult for him. You can't just, sit back there and hope he overthrows everybody. So I don't get the lack of pressure, especially on those first couple of drives.
Well, and to go with it, the first couple of drives, they ran the ball a lot, right? And you would think that, okay, backup quarterback, they're going to run the ball. Well, they were getting 6 to 8 yards every time they handed off. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott is going for 6 to 8 yards. Yeah, I mean, he was good at one time, but he's not the premier
He's not
back.
their best running back.
No,
Pollard's a better running back.
Yeah.
And
Pollard ran for more today than Elliott.
Right,
Pollard
he did.
had the big run. So.
But Elliott the first 2 series was churning up the yardage. And I mean, I don't think they passed until, I don't know, 4 or 5 plays in, and then they made easy pitch and catches. So I don't know. I'm just frustrated, but because we ain't beating the Jets next week, I tell you what. Good God, Joe Flacco coming back. That's the only saving grace, is that everybody in the AFC North lost, and we're still only 1 game out. But I don't know.
Well, I guess I'll go obvious, and that's, again, the offensive line and the pressure on Burrow. I mean, he looked like he just, in the first half, every time he went back, he at one point he was our leading rusher into the second quarter, because he had just had to take off. He either was sacked or he took off running. And thank God the Cowboys have no discipline when it comes to their penalties and stuff. I mean, they 2 penalties, late hit penalties on Burrow as he's sliding, gave us 2 first downs. So, that helped us. So I'll go. I mean, you went with the a little bit of the defense. I'll say Frank Pollock. Last week I was railing on Zach Taylor, so I'll go with Frank Pollock as my target this week. I mean, Frank Pollock is supposed to be this great offensive line coach, and they specifically went out and brought him back. And we're now what? How many games are we into his tenure back? I mean, last year we played how many games? Counting the Super Bowl, 20 games?
20 games.
And now we're 22 games in, and the offensive line still sucks.
Yeah.
And
we went out and got new players.
Yeah. So, yes, it does take time to gel. Again, playing the preseason, that would have helped.
Mm-hmm.
But I won't go back there again. So I don't, so at some point they got to start producing. I mean, the Bengals have been
Burrow.
Thank you. Burrow's been sacked 13 times in 2 games.
Yeah.
The most, I think, in history.
Yes,
I think
it has. Yes, they said that the most
after 2 games in history.
Yeah.
And so, we make history all the time.
Yes, we do.
And we only have 2 sacks, from the
right. Then that's what I'm saying. We're going against a backup.
So, I mean, what can you? I mean, some of it is some of it is on Burrow. He does hold the ball.
Yep.
He's always trying to make a play. But on the flip side of that, trying to make a play, he doesn't. And I don't know if it's a coordinator thing or just him. He's got the best receivers in the NFL. Throw the freaking ball down the field and let them guys go and get it. I mean, last year he started doing that more in the second half, and that's what he needs to do. I mean, he even has whatever the quote is about, when I'm in trouble, I just throw it to effing Chase, and he, go and he gets it. So that's what they need to start doing. Like, they had their receivers are going to 9 times out of 10 beat the defensive backs. I don't care who they're playing against. There is no Deion Sanders in the NFL right now. So, so he needs to just get it out there. Just get it out to him. And because the offensive line, it's not working yet.
And the other thing that really irritates me is we come out so flat in the first quarter. And I don't know.
Well, we're boring. We're boring offensively in the beginning.
We try to fill them out, and I understand that it's like heavyweight boxers. They're doing jabs and stuff and see what they have. But by the time that happens, our defense giving up 14 points to a backup, and we're sitting there scratching our head saying, "What the heck are we doing?" And next thing you know, we're trying, and Micah Parson is wrecking havoc, and going back unblocked. Yeah. The guy from the Cowboys, Collins, Parsons lined up over him, and he decides to slide down and give him a free rush. It's like, what the?
Well, he probably said, I just don't want to really block him.
Yeah,
so if I slide down, I'll deal with him.
Oops. I didn't know you were standing there.
That's the same thing as last week in terms of Minka Fitzpatrick on the extra point was unblocked.
Yep.
TJ Watt looked like he was unblocked for most of last week. So I don't know. I mean, they just got, just there's a lot of stuff they got to.
There is
and
a lot
on
of
top
stuff.
of that,
they can't win NFL games playing like this.
No.
Yeah, they don't get a push in the run game either. They kind of did last year. I mean, Mixon still went over 1,000 yards, but these first 2 weeks, I mean, Mixon's been around like 15 to 20 carries for 50 to 60 yards. They're not getting any push, and I don't know how you can't establish the run. We haven't thrown a deep ball.
No, yeah, so I'm saying,
Yeah,
have we thrown
yeah.
a ball over 25 yards yet?
I don't think so.
Well, it's probably because we can't.
Well, he
We
doesn't
can't
have,
block
yeah,
long
right.
enough.
He
Yeah.
doesn't have time.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, Burrow's going to be getting happy feet.
I looked at the stat. I was looking at the stats. Burrow averaged 5.5 yards a completion today,
Jeez.
and Cooper Rush was at 8 yards. So,
Well, because
like you
Eli
guys said, I know
Apple
you-
was playing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and it sounded like you guys addressed it, but man, you got to play in the preseason. You got to get these guys together and let them go play a little bit. I mean, especially when you got 4 new offensive linemen, right? I mean, it's you got to put them out there, and you can't be trying to figure it out during the season. That's what the preseason is all about, isn't it? To get ready.
Well, not according to Sean McVay, and he doesn't want his starters to get injured, and they'll figure it out later. But when you have 4 new guys coming in, whole new system, Burrow with his appendectomy, he was out for 2.5 weeks. I mean, you gotta at least let those offensive linemen gel a little bit in the preseason.
Yeah,
And,
I'd have been fine if Burrow didn't play, but I mean, the O-line didn't even play together. I don't know how that's beneficial to anybody by not getting them some reps in live action. That doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just frustrating.
But here's what's the frustrating part is in both games, we had a chance to win the ball game. I mean, that's how good Burrow is as far as when there is pressure and the game's on the line. I mean, he usually delivers. Go ahead, Sam. Sorry.
So we both just said how frustrating it was. Here's a quote from Zach Taylor after today. It's not frustrating. We've given ourselves opportunities to win against 2 good to great football teams. We have a good team.
Cooper Rush.
Right.
It's not Cooper Manning for crying out loud.
And Mitchell Trubisky.
And Mitch
Right.
Trubisky.
Bonus point. Where did Cooper Rush play college football?
Jeez, old Pete. It's probably I think it's probably like Northern Illinois, a MAC school, probably Western Kentucky, Central Michigan. Who else was from
quarterback from Central Michigan for crying out loud?
Is that Dan Orlowski? Wasn't he from Central
He was
Michigan?
UConn.
Yeah, he's UConn.
Oh.
Antonio Brown was Central Michigan.
Yeah. There's a who knows? Goodness gracious. But Ben Roethlisberger was from Miami for crying out loud. So the all-time Bengal killer, Ben Roethlisberger, was from Miami, another MAC school. So maybe we should be drafting players from the MAC. I don't know.
You guys had a Ball State quarterback on your roster, but we cut him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He went,
5 minutes.
Yep. So he was. He was from Loveland, I think. He was a local boy here. So yeah. They said, go back to Ball State, get your master's degree, and
I know we're all super frustrated, but living over in Indiana, man.
Oh, you got to listen to the Colts. Good God.
I love what's happening to the Colts right now because they suck.
Yeah.
The Colts stink.
Yep, they do. I mean, Matty Ice is not. He might be put on ice here.
Ice cold. Yeah.
Yes. Gosh.
All these Indiana people thought that was the ticket to the Super Bowl. So
yeah,
drinking the juice over here.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
I mean, yeah. The defense has played well enough both games that they still should have. As frustrating as those first 2 series was, and I even sent out a text to my son saying I thought the Bengals defense was better than this. After that, the Cowboys scored 6 points the rest of the game.
Right.
So the Bengals, to me, it's offense. It's Zach Taylor, Callahan, calling plays, Frank Pollock. I mean, you do what the defense done the last 2 games. They should be 2-0.
Yep. Yeah.
So the offense has got to get it figured out. Yeah. Offensive line's got to get it figured out. The offensive coaches got to get it figured out. If Zach Taylor's still calling plays, then he needs to stop and figure out something else. So I don't know if he is or not, but
he is. He still calls plays.
So it's
Tony Romo was convinced we were going down on scoring at the end of the game, and what did we get? 6 yards.
6 yards, yeah, because the first
threw short of the sticks on 3rd down.
Yeah,
that's wild. To Tyler Boyd of all the weapons?
Yeah. We threw to the tight end, and then incomplete pass, and then the 3rd down, and that's because happy feet, you know? I mean, but
but I think a little bit it's a play calling too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they definitely did not use Jamar Chase today like they did last week.
No.
So I'm sure his targets, I've not looked at the stats yet, but I'm sure his targets were way down from last year or from last week.
Yeah, it was. All right, so next on the list here is the prediction for next week's Bengals Jets. They travel to the Jets, the Meadowlands again. It was on Halloween when they lost to backup, making his first start, Mike White. Now we've got journeyman, longtime Raven, Joe Flacco. Will probably still be in the game. Came back, won the game against the Browns. I had them going 8-0, losing the first game in Cleveland, but they might go 0-8 the way they're playing right now. Good gosh almighty, because Robert Saleh is taking receipts. So, who knows? But
I did say that Bengals would lose to the Cowboys, by the way.
Yeah, shut up. That's because you would have never said that if you knew Cooper Rush was starting for the Cowboys.
Same before our prediction before the season. I went with the Cowboys there. So
it went from a -3.5 Cowboys to a -7 Bengals when Dak went out.
I would have taken that bet all day long. Put my money on the Cowboys for that.
Yeah.
Because we're still going to Dallas. I don't care. And I saw what happened in the first game against the shitty Steelers.
Right.
Oh, put
that E on there.
And the Steelers showed themselves today
by
losing to the Patriots at home and did play horribly. So
Yep.
I think they played worse than they did against the Bengals, especially on their offense.
And my hot take of the day, if the Steelers finish over 500, then Mike Tomlin absolutely should be coach of the year.
Yep. All right. I'll start off. Bengals. Shoot. 20. Jets 19 within a squeaker.
Okay, I'll go Bengals 5, Jets 4. Bengals still win though.
5-4, huh? Ooh, that's all right, Mike. What do you think?
There'll be more sacks and points.
I will take that bet. I am not getting sucked in. I think Burrow's going to throw 4 touchdowns. We are going to win 35-17. And because we're going to start playing with a sense of urgency, they lose one more and we're in trouble. We're in trouble right now, but you can't. With what we got on the back end of the schedule, and I'm sure you guys talked about this already.
Oh, yeah.
But, if we're not winning games now, I don't know where we're winning games at the end of the season with who we're competing against.
It starts in week 4 with Miami. Miami just came from back from nowhere. Tua went,
there were 6 touchdowns.
6 touchdowns.
4 in the fourth quarter.
A record in Miami. 6 touchdowns. And they had Dan Marino.
I'm gonna tune in next week and let you guys talk about me when they win like 35-17 next week.
All right, you do that.
And if they win 5-4, you have to join us next week to talk about that.
Yeah, that's right.
Deal. Now that'll be the Reds losing their 100th game.
Yeah. All right, what do you got, son?
This is going to be the last time, but I got the Bengals. I'm going to go Bengals. I'm going to go 24-17.
24-17. All right. Well,
if they lose, I'm picking against them the rest of the year. That's it.
If they lose, I might start rooting for somebody else. I don't know, but
Jets, Jets.
No. But who knows? I can just hear Jerry Jones. How about them Cowboys?
I'm sure you already said that.
Oh yeah, a couple of times. So. All right, so now we're going to move into our segment. We got a couple of segments here that we're going to move into. First one is our beer review. We've got a couple beers here. Last week we had a couple Bengals beers. This week we have a couple Bengals beers that we're going to sample here, but they got to get cold. So in the meantime, Crawley is drinking. What are you drinking there, Crawley?
Clown Shoes Galactica West Coast IPA.
All right. And I am drinking the focal banger from the Alchemist. So 7%, and it says you got to drink from the can. Don't be a DB.
Don't be a day backer.
Yeah, day backer. But so yeah, it's their flagship IPA. Not too bad. Nice and sweet, going down. Little bite on the backside, but pretty good. What about yours?
Yeah, mine's 8%. So a little gave me a little stronger one here. And,
you got further to drive. That's why.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put all the cops on alert.
Yeah, they're watching right now.
I thought everybody was. So it's a fairly hoppy IPA. But I like it. I like hoppy IPAs, but you have to be good with, a little more on the hoppy side when it comes to IPAs.
For the West Coast side.
So I give it a definite thumbs up, but I like that stuff. So
yep, that's good. 2 thumbs up. All right. What are you drinking over there, Mike? Anything?
Well,
All State.
I'm in the Holiday Inn Eastgate, and probably gonna. I don't know. But
get that.
I'm jealous right now, both of you guys.
Get that Ohio River tap water, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
All righty. So now we're going to go into our trivia segment here. So, if you're the first listener to correctly email the answer to us at csspodcast@yahoo.com, or you can direct message us on our Instagram at Cincy Sports Scene. Or if you happen to be watching us live tonight, you can put it in the chat and we'll see. Sam, you want to go ahead and you had last week's, correct?
Yeah. So
go ahead and last week's, and let's see if Mike can answer that one before you give the answer. So pay attention there.
All right. So 3 non-kickers in the history of the NFL have played over 300 career games. Who are they?
Got any guesses?
I'll give you a hint.
Hold on.
One should be obvious. He's active right now. So that should give you one.
Okay, so Tom Brady.
That's one.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
So what was
Are only one active right now?
Yeah, only one's active.
300 games, right?
300.
Is it Favre?
Favre is another.
That's what I thought.
So Sam, when you say kicker, like a punter doesn't count, right?
Right. Yeah. No punters either.
Oh, no punters either.
Yeah, I don't think a punter has even gotten to 300 anyways. So
okay, because I had a guy in mind, but he was a quarterback, but also a punter.
Danny White.
Is it another offensive
George
player?
Blanda?
it is, yes.
Is it Charlie Joyner?
No.
Is it
No.
Is it a receiver?
It is a receiver. Yes.
Jerry Rice?
No.
Yep.
Jerry Rice.
Jerry
Rice.
Rice.
Arizona?
No.
Nope. Played for the 49ers and the Raiders
Yeah.
And the Seahawks.
and the
49ers.
Seahawks. Jerry Rice. Jerry Riders. The Ricer.
I was
So, all right.
thinking of the dude that played for the Cardinals here that was
Fitzgerald.
recently retired. It was there forever. Yeah.
Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald. All right, so that was Sam. So this week's trivia question, we're talking a little bit about the let's see, where is my trivia? Did I not write it down? I should have. Oh yeah, here it is. Trivia question here. The Bearcats have won 16 consecutive games over the Redhawks for the Victory Bell. Who were the respective coaches the last time Miami won the Victory Bell? So you got to go all the way back to 2005. So once again, I'll read that. And the Bearcats have won 16 consecutive games now over the Redhawks. Who were the respective coaches the last time Miami won the Victory Bell? And if you think you know the answer, like I said before, you can email us at CSSpodcast@yahoo.com, or you can direct message us on Instagram at Cincy Sports Scene, or put it in the chat, and we'll be happy to send you out a nice little sticker here for you that if you can come up with the correct answer. So, you got any guesses there, Mike?
The UC coach I won't get, but there's a name that keeps popping in my head for Miami, and I want to say Terry Ebner, but he may have been at IU already.
Yep, it wasn't him, but
not sure.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, it was not. Dang. So, all right. With that, we are going to move into our topic of the week, and that is our special guest, Ball State head golf coach Mike Fleck. And, we just want to again just say thanks for joining us here. I know you are down here in Cincinnati. Why don't you tell everybody why you're down here and what you're doing here? And, just tell us a little bit about your career, those 25 years at Ball State.
Yeah, so basically we're in town to compete in Cincinnati's UC's golf event over at Coldstream Country Club, and played a practice round today. And there's, I think, 13 or 14 teams in town. We'll play 36 holes of competition tomorrow, and then another final round on Tuesday before heading home. But great to be here. This is I was born at Good Sam, so this is kind of where it all started, and obviously growing up with Dave over in Batesville. But it's always fun to come back to Cincinnati, and we were over Coldstream today, like I said, and the golf course is amazing, and seeing Bengals gear in the pro shop, and just being around the city, on a football Sunday is pretty cool, because we certainly don't experience that kind of level of interest over in Muncie, Indiana. But yeah, no, this is I've been at Ball State for a while. I played on the golf team when Dave and I kind of went our separate ways. He went to Purdue, and I was at Ball State, and I played there for 4 years, and then kind of got into the golf side of the industry and worked as an assistant golf pro at Greensburg Country Club, and worked as a head golf pro up outside of Muncie. And then lo and behold, our golf coach, who I played for, was at Ball State for 36 years, had some health related issues, and could no longer kind of serve in the capacity of coaching. And I just was dumb lucky. I was at the right place at the right time and got the job. And 24, 25 years later, I don't know what the heck I'd be doing if I wasn't coaching the golf program at Ball State. So it's been it's been a great ride. I tell people all the time, this is definitely not an occupation for me. As Dave knows, I've been around golf my entire life, and it's something I have a pretty deep passion for. And it's just awesome that I have the opportunity to, help young men make progress and kind of impact and influence their lives a little bit, especially during a time frame where, you can teach them some life lessons and get them prepared for, post-college experiences.
Yeah. So, talking about, you're being modest. You do a great job with that team. Just listening to you talk to them, watching some of your posts and just being around you, you do give a lot of life lessons, and you really help those kids grow. And it shows where, your past players come back and they talk highly about you. They talk highly about the program. And I know your coach Earl was there for, like you said, 36 years, and he sort of established that feeling, that family feeling. But, who in your life, I think I know the answer, but who in your life really inspired you to, be a golfer? And, because of that, you had these life lessons that you can, pass on to your team.
Well, the answer is my dad, but your mom scared the hell out of me. So.
That was a question here that I was going to ask you.
No, but it was it was my dad. We were fortunate enough to grow up in a small town, and he had a group of guys that he would play golf with over at Hillcrest Country Club, and at an early age I would kind of be the tag along, and I'd walk around on those weekend mornings, and then eventually, he'd let me hit a 7-iron and bang some shots, and then, it turned into playing, and before I knew it, I was decent and had some chances to play, and was kind of too small, really, too skinny for football and basketball and all that stuff. And I kind of went towards golf, and it worked out. But my dad was a major influence, and you mentioned it. Coach Earl was a huge influence, just in how to go about the everyday idea of helping these kids learn and grow. But it's been fun. It's been rewarding. I'm certainly not done yet. But like I said, it doesn't feel like I'm working. This is something I love to do. And, I really appreciate the opportunities of being connected with these young men and their families along the way.
Yeah. I mean, that's, your dad was a special man. I loved coming over, and Sundays, especially when he was, sitting by the fire, sleeping by the fire, laying on that couch and
passed out.
Passed out after 18 holes or whatever, but or 19 holes, I guess, right? But he gave you probably the greatest nickname, and I still call you that today. He calls you Hacker, and you tell us how you got that. I mean, why did he give it to you? Probably because you were, probably tearing up the country club, and they were probably mad that who left all those divots out there.
Well, I'm sure it was in my early time frame, but I can tell you one story, and this is youth sports today. We do a lot, and we send our kids all over the place to compete, and I was lucky. My dad would take me all over Indiana to play in junior golf tournaments and compete back when there really wasn't a circuit, so to speak. But anyway, Dave kind of referenced that he's the kind of guy that would pack a 6-pack of Hudies and drink those Hudipoles during the round. And I'd get in the car and he'd ask me about the round. And I remember one time I told him, I said, Dad, he said, what were you trying to do back there on that one hole with that tree in between you and the green? And I said, well, I thought I had a gap, and I hit the shot and it hit that one branch, and he had a few beers in him by then, and he said, Hacker, I've taken you all over the state of Indiana, and it's always one effing branch with you. Like, when are you going to figure out to hit it out and play safe and take your medicine? So, but yeah, no, the nickname stuck. I mean, a lot of my Batesville friends call me that to this day, and I mean, we've got a pretty good group chat going with a few of our buddies from back in the day, and it's it's just cool to reminisce a little bit.
Oh yeah. Speaking of reminiscing, the neighborhood, right? Growing up on I grew up on Western, you grew up on Eastern, and go down to Hallmeyer's, Hallmeyer's grocery store right there. I don't know if you heard any of the podcasts before tonight, but we were opening up old baseball cards. We went to Cooperstown, and I bought a whole bunch of old baseball cards from the 80s, 86 on, and just reminiscing about, oh yeah, we used to go and collect pop bottles and take them down to Hallmeyer's, turn them in for 10 cents, get a pack of baseball, football cards. But I mean, we had a great neighborhood, especially growing up, and my kids unfortunately never got that kind of neighborhood that we all stayed there, right? My mom's still living there for crying out loud. It's 53 years in the same house. That doesn't happen anymore. And talk about that, and talk about the impact that the neighborhood had on you, and just on your journey from Eastern Avenue up to Muncie, Indiana.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was special. I mean, we had a group of guys and parents, and I wouldn't say there was a lot of socializing with the parents per se, but my favorite movie all time is The Sandlot, and looking back now, 52, being 52, looking back when we were 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, that was us. Like we would figure out a way to find a spot and we would play some ball. And, for the longest period of time. And it's crazy to think about this, Sam, you would know, but I mean, that side yard between, your mom and dad's house and the house on the corner,
yep.
which is where Mrs. Hooten used to live. That's where we played.
Yep.
We made it work. And, we broke a lot of windows and, we were scared to death of Mrs. Hooten, who was, the old man in the sandlot.
Yep.
I mean, we would go back in my backyard, which our neighbors had a detached garage and they had these rhubarb plants. And, the rhubarb plant was the strike zone because we didn't have a catcher. So, the pitcher, if any part of the ball caught the rhubarb, that was a strike, and it was undisputable. Right. And then we had that lot that over by the park, Dave, that we would get 15, 20 kids go over there and play football. That empty lot there that sat just right there by the park. And, those memories are irreplaceable. I'm the same way. My daughter, we kind of live in a neighborhood and, we rode bikes all over the place. I mean, we would ride bikes to school every day, middle school, elementary school. And those are the moments that kind of shape you and you can reflect back on. And we had a pretty special community there in Batesville, and especially over there on Eastern and Western and Central Avenue. And, kids gravitated our way to play ball and hang out and, cause a little bit of trouble, but never anything that crossed, the line. And, we had a heck of a time doing it growing up. But, it's living in Muncie. It's totally different. It's a bigger city, and you just don't see the that kind of stuff happening these days. And it's I don't know, maybe it does still happen quite a bit in small communities, but that was those were some fun times.
Yeah, I mean, we never sat and played video games. I mean, it was just one of those things where we were out, and it was whatever the season it was, that's what we were doing. Fall, we'd come home from school, just head on over to the fields, and we were playing football, whether it was 2v2, 3v3, or somebody was all-time quarterback, and we would play. And sometimes it was you, me, and Olson, and then versus like Fuzz and Ryan, and then Alvin Davidson, because he was the biggest kid there, and he would just rumble, stumble, bumble, and we would like jump on his back trying to get him down. But and then winter came around, we were playing basketball outside, right? And then once spring came around, we were doing the baseball stuff, and it was just
we're standing out in the middle of the street, out in front of my house, throwing a basketball and beating the tar out of the gutters, and my dad coming out there yelling at us. But it never changed who we were and what we were doing. And again, it just blows my mind to think about we were playing full-blown wiffle ball games in that side yard of your house and not knowing any different. We didn't know what we didn't know, right? I mean, we made it work anywhere.
Yeah, we would play there until Mom came home from work, and then we would go over to Wince's and play there, your backyard, because she's, don't let it hit the house. I'm coming out there and spanking you. And she'd spank all of us. But
oh man, I'm telling you, Renata, I was scared to death of her, man. She was, you didn't want to get sideways with her.
No, not at all. I mean, that's how come nobody ever spent the night, man. We never had sleepovers at our house because nobody wanted to deal with that.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, but to this day, she swears no, she was never like that. But that's all right. Let her think what she. We have stories.
She had some great German food, though. Great German food.
Yeah. A lot of that as well. So Sam, here's your opportunity, son, to ask Mike anything, you want to find out about me, So.
Oh, well, I was just going to bring up, you mentioned riding bikes. Did you ever get hit by a car riding your bike around Batesville?
No, I did not. I can, boy, I still would like to have the details of that story because, no, I did not.
Well, here's the.
There's not very many places you can't get hit by a car in Batesville. Like it's.
Oh, right. That's because you have to hit the car. The car can't hit you. You have to be the one hitting the car. All right. So here's the story. I was coming Little League. All right. We had a Saturday afternoon practice, and Steve Hallmeyer and I were riding bikes, and it was right there by the. Do you know where? Let's see here. The Methodist Church was, right? So if you would turn left at Methodist Church, you're heading down towards Hallmeyer's. So all of a sudden, we're riding, and then I'm looking back. I'm turning left. I'm looking back, and I'm like, why is Steve waiting? And next thing I know, bam, over the car, laying down. And I just want to get up and get home, right? And they're like, no, lay down. And I wouldn't tell them my name because I was like, no, my mom's going to beat me. I mean, I'm not, no. I said, I went to get my bike, and I picked up my bike, and my bike is all bent, right? And I'm like going, oh, I'm dead. That was a first communion gift, in April. And here it is in like June, 3 months later, it's destroyed. I'm like, I'm dead. I should just die right now because I'm going to be dead when I get home. And so I would not tell anybody my name, okay? Because I was like, I'm fine. I just want to go home. And like, no. And so all of a sudden, this car stops, and out comes my mom's boss. And I'm like going, oh, crap. And it was Boyd, Mr. Boyd. And he goes, oh yeah. He goes, oh, that's Renata Wolfers, blah, blah, blah. So they call, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm dead. And long story short, when they called, they just said, yeah, your son was hit by a car, and that was it. Not like he's okay. Mom drops the phone. Dad picks it up. What's going on? And here it is. They come rushing up, they take me home. I don't even go to the hospital. All right. I don't even go to the hospital. Take me home. My bike's all, I can't ride no-handed because it goes this way now. And the funny thing is we went canoeing at noon. That's why I was in a hurry to get home, because we had to go canoeing. So we went canoeing that day on top of that. And then the next day I went to Kings Island. So it's like kids today, they're soft. I mean, got a concussion and got to sit out 6 weeks, and maybe that explains a lot, but for me, but that's the story right there. Yes.
Sam, I'm gonna tell you a couple stories, and Dave will probably have to help me out here, but the first one was, he went to St. Louis, right? And I was at the elementary. So we were playing whatever level ball that was back then. And we were playing over there at the by the elementary school. Yeah, we were playing that field over there by the elementary with that church.
I still feel it. Court. I know where this is going.
back then, I was a pitcher. But we couldn't even keep the ball within the framework of the backstop back then. And the backstop was 20 feet high and 20 feet wide. Well, I was pitching and Dave was batting, and I beamed him like,
right between the back.
Batting and he turned and right between the shoulder blades, and he goes down and he's crying and
wailing.
And I just remember like, I didn't have any emotion. I'm like, what's going on here? And so we get home, and we really don't know each other like super well. I just know, we're in the neighborhood.
Right.
My mom is like, you're going to walk over to that Wolfer's house and you're going to buy him ice cream. I'm like, what? And he's like, you're going to go over there and apologize, and we're going to take him and get ice cream. And that's kind of how we started connecting a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And then so you move it forward, and Dave was one of the first ones to get his license because he was one of the oldest guys in our class, and he was all pumped up because he had this stick shift, and he was going to give us all, we were all going to get in it. And we're driving down Western Avenue, and he's dropping the transmission. He can't figure out how to, shift and pedal. Well, anyway, Batesville back in the day was known for, there wasn't anything to do, so you would all go cruise down at the strip, down there where Schmidt's Bakery is and the bank and all that. And I'm pretty sure I was riding with Dave one night.
Yeah,
we kind of get up there to where that sign is at that bank.
Oh yeah,
you turn left and you just go around the block, and he looks right, and he doesn't see anything, and he pulls out, and then all of a sudden, boom, truck.
Boom.
Tony Punty, right?
No,
right?
no, Gary Belter.
Gary Belter, that's it.
Gary Belter. And I was in my sister's car. Not I didn't have the stick. I had the big Dodge Aspen special edition, a tank version.
And we're a couple of freshmen or whatever it is.
Sophomore. I was a sophomore, yeah. So yeah.
And
we were sophomores.
We're sitting out there in the middle of everybody, cruising and tooling around. Friday night. And
first weekend I had my license. And I'm sitting here. so I'm turning left. I swear to this day, he came across the parking lot instead of like what you're supposed to, because I didn't see him. And man, he comes out. He's got a Mustang. He comes out, and I go to hit the brake, and I hit the gas, and it just spun his rear quarter panel. I mean, pretty much destroyed his rear quarter panel. I had a little bitty hole in that steel bumper, and I get out, and I'm just, it's embarrassing, first of all, right? Because it's a Friday night in the town square, and everybody just circles around, see who the idiot is who was in a wreck, right? And this goof next to me, all he couldn't quit laughing. He just kept laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. And I'm sitting there, oh my gosh, and he just, oh yeah, it was one of those things. But, yeah, I mean,
well,
we could talk about, the Monty too, with Bloom. I don't know if you remember that story there, Fleck.
Well, Sam, I'm just gonna back up real quick. So the bike thing was a little premonition. Like it's your dad.
We lose him.
Yeah, the internet seems
he's got a problem.
Why? It just disappeared.
Yeah, we just lost to him, didn't we?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I guess we'll keep it going.
Does it time out here?
No, the Wi-Fi at their house is pretty bad. So they probably lost connection.
Gotcha.
Here they come. So
yep.
Yeah, here you come.
Yeah.
Jumping back.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason, I mean,
everything seems to be okay.
That's all right.
Everything okay.
I was just telling Sam that it's not like it. You're prone to this kind of stuff. It started with your bike, and then
yes. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I hopefully nothing is next, but it's in your blood.
Oh yeah, Mr. Accident right here. When things go, but I seem to rebound well. So.
Yeah. Hey, bottom line is growing up in Batesville and growing up in the neighborhood we did. It's I mean, those are some special memories. And I haven't seen your dad. I haven't seen Dave in a while, and it's just like we haven't missed a beat.
Right.
I think last time we were maybe face to face was when you were on Ball State's campus visiting.
Yeah, Lydia was looking at colleges there. So
yeah.
But she ended up going to Miami, and then she's out in University of Northern Colorado right now.
Okay.
Up at Greeley, and grad school athletic training. So hopefully she's looking for a job here soon. And
and Sam, you live in Colorado?
Yeah, I'm in Denver.
Okay,
your brother's out
in
there.
Denver. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I remember Dad saying that. He's down in Littleton, right?
Yeah. Littleton, yeah. He lives the only thing I can remember, he lives on a hill called Jackass Hill. So that kind of fits him to a T.
Yeah. All right, let's get going here to some of these. The next thing, I got a couple of things, golf wise for you. What are you thinking about the Live tournament here? I mean, what's your take on that?
Boy, we talk about it every day. I mean, it's I've got these young guys that I'm around, and they are either all for it or they absolutely hate it. I don't know. Golf has always been traditionally a sport where you play well and you earn your money. Unlike maybe some of the other sports where you sign the contract and you get paid. But I don't know. It's creating some interesting dynamics. It's creating some opportunities, I think, for with guys going to the Live Tour and opening up some spots on the PGA Tour. But I don't know. I mean, Max Homa beat Danny Willett today on the PGA Tour, and Cam Smith beat DJ on the Live Tour. I mean, I can tell you which two players I would rather watch coming down the stretch playing for a win, and it wouldn't have been Homa and Willett. But I hate what it's doing to the international team events. It's eliminating some of those guys from that stuff, and I just hope everybody can come together and kind of figure out a little bit better product right now for professional golf, because we're kind of getting sideways right now with the divide and especially the stubbornness of the PGA Tour, and the Live Tour not coming together and kind of trying to figure out what would be best for everybody.
So with the Live Tour, if that was around when we were growing up, that would have gave, dreamers like us an opportunity to go on. But it's almost like, the NIL stuff now with the in college. Talk about how, it's evolved, especially in golf for you. What are your challenges? What are some of the struggles that you are facing? And I don't know if there's a lot of transfers, portal moves, as much as it is in football and basketball. But just talk about that a little bit.
We are in the most interesting and unique time frame of college athletics. I would say this: everything that's going on, NIL, transfer portal, the cost of attendance thing that started a few years ago, and now this. I don't know. The Allstead, which is the new. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, there was an echo.
It's everything that's happening right now in college athletics is moving away from the educational privilege. These kids they're coming to college to get educated, and I know they're playing sports too, and a lot of them have professional ambitions. But NIL, being able to get paid, like not too long ago, a scholarship was the value. Right. This kid's going to get a scholarship and he's going to get his education paid for. That's the farthest thing from the equation that these kids are thinking about now. On most levels, it's the one-time transfer is hitting us hard right now, just like it is football and basketball. I mean, gosh, you watch these Saturday college football games and, they're talking about kids that have been at 3 schools. That's insane. Right. Like, where's the, there's no loyalty. There's no, again, Dave, you referenced it earlier in the conversation. When things get tough, kids got to figure out how to fight through it a little bit versus saying, hey, you know what? I'm not playing. I'm just going to go in the transfer portal and I'm going to find someplace different because it's not working. But the NIL stuff is interesting. It's not really hitting us heavily yet in golf. It probably will. I mean, I think the thing that's really happening right now is just the Power Five, the separation. It's just getting bigger and bigger. Right. And, I'm just a golf coach at Ball State, but I think we're not too far away from, 50, 55 schools breaking off and creating, 2 or 3 super conferences and us quote unquote mid majors kind of creating a different level. Similar to what you see right now with FBS and FCS.
Right.
And I just, having been around college athletics for such a long time, it's just interesting. And you know what? As coaches and administrators and athletic departments, you have to adapt, or else you're gonna lose pace. I mean, as coaches, it's no longer like a 4-year cycle where you're bringing in 2 or 3 guys and they're going to graduate in 4 years, and you're bringing in 2 or 3 guys to replace them. It's almost like you're building year-to-year rosters, and we're becoming more of a general manager, looking at everything, trying to figure out what guys you're going to have coming back, what guys you may have potentially leaving, and what guys are out there in the transfer portal that might be gettable and attracted to, coming your way. You're certainly seeing that in football and basketball. So.
Yeah. So how many scholarships are you allowed on the golf circuit? I mean, how many do you have
NCAA
a year?
Limit for Division I. Yeah, we have 4.5 a year.
Okay.
Now the 4.5 will be kind of institutional determined, meaning 4.5 at Ball State may be a lot different than 4.5 at Ohio State or Oklahoma State or Arizona. Mine is mainly made up of in-state numbers and not a lot of out-of-state dollars. Whereas, Oklahoma State might be 4.5 global, where they can go international, coast to coast. But 4.5 is the limit for golf. And you usually see about an 8 to 10 player roster for Division I golf programs.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to ask you about that. Like one of the questions, like why haven't you recruited more in the Cincinnati area? And because I think you have is it one kid out of your starting 5 that's not from Indiana?
Yeah.
He's from Columbus, I think, right?
He's from Columbus. Yep, he's from Columbus. We, again, being a state school, it's like 23,000 is a full athletic scholarship in the state. And it's like 36,000, out of state. That's a pretty good difference. And, the other challenge for me is so many schools in Ohio. There's so many Division I programs that have men's golf. And, if I try to come to Cincinnati and try to attract the best kid, not only do I have to, offer him a significant amount of money to match, what a Wright State, a Dayton, a UC, a Xavier, a Bowling Green, one of those schools offers a kid 50 to 60%, there's a big difference in what he has to pay out of pocket if he's staying in Ohio versus, trying to come over to Indiana and play. We used to have some reciprocal counties that we worked with that kind of dipped down northern side of Cincinnati, like in the Lakota.
The Butler County.
I'm not sure what Butler County.
Butler County.
Yeah. And so I think those have kind of gone away now, but a little bit of it is by design. We're able to attract some really high quality Indiana kids, and a little bit of it is the economic situation too of, what the scholarships that we have to work with and the dollar amounts to match up.
Well, you got an outstanding facility. I think, any kid that you can get on campus to see that facility that you guys just, put in not too long ago, I think they'll be blown away, especially all the stuff they can do in the wintertime, especially up in Muncie, Indiana, because winter, spring, it's just like Cincinnati here. You never know what you're going to get. But I think you need to talk to Letterman and, get some of that, NIL, money and get some of these kids here from Cincinnati. I got a name for you. He's a sophomore. He's from Wyoming. A good friend of ours lives in Wyoming. Eakins, Bob. I talked to Bob.
Oh, yeah.
I talked to Bobo last year when Benj was over there playing golf against Wyoming, and Bob came over and we walked a few holes together and just caught up. But Finley Bartlett is the kid's name. our golf coach was on a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned his name, and he goes, right now, I will tell you, he will be on the PGA Tour. That's how good he is. He goes, you can just tell the way the kid plays that he's just, when you see a Division I athlete, he's running around knocking everybody over at high school, and you just know that. And that's what Jeff Kathman said. This kid is just, as a sophomore right now, he's leading the league. He's shooting his average is 35.15 out of 117 holes right now. And last year was like he led the conference as a freshman. He was like 36 something. So that's a name for you to watch out for. Unfortunately, we don't have any Finneytown kids, that's there. But yeah, I mean, he's a good one. And then, there's a couple of them that are coming. Luke Brenneman, Tom Brenneman's son, is a golfer. He's ranked 19th right now in the CHL, but he's at 42. That's what you shot. So, in high school. So, but yeah, there's some kids there that, here in Cincinnati. I mean, the CHL is a very, very good golfing school, good athletic school. It reminds me a lot of the EIAC, where it's just every sports, there's teams that are just really, really good and solid. So,
well, and you're gonna see some really quality Cincinnati products playing over at Coldstream on the next couple of days. I know Xavier's got a couple guys on their roster. Cincinnati's got a few kids that are going to be playing. I even think Kentucky maybe has a kid or two. So it's I'm looking forward to it. My goal would be to probably get back over here to Ohio in a few weeks and go over to Scarlet and be able to watch some of the state championship and, kind of continue to scout the talent and see. But you're right. I mean, these kids, young kids are putting up some really good numbers. And
bombing.
It's crazy.
350. I mean, 350.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, what the heck?
Again, I think what you're seeing is you're seeing more athletic kids play golf at a younger age. Like I played golf, Dave, because I wasn't big enough to play football, and so I kind of gravitated to golf. Well, now you're seeing kids that are multi-sport kids that are playing golf that are athletic and they're strong and they're sequencing. I mean, they can just rip it. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, that's the key, the sequencing. I mean, because, being a baseball player, my swing was horrible and still is, but we'll talk about that later. But because I did beat you one time, so that's the highlight of high school, junior year, baby. All right. Before we get into
memories.
Yeah, you got more gray hair than I do, so I've got a better memory. So,
hey, when your livelihood depends on 18 to 22-year-olds and the decisions that they make on and off a golf course, you look like this too.
I've coached high school softball for 12 years here. All right, so I don't want to hear it, and that's 14 to 17-year-old female. So you can.
Yeah. If you'd have kept coaching me, though, you'd be gray. So you made a smart decision there.
Yes, exactly. That's why I went to your sister, because she wasn't giving me any feedback or lip. So. Speaking of family, your daughter's going to Ball State, right? I saw that. Or she got offered.
Yeah, well, she didn't get offered. She accepted.
Got accepted.
Admission status.
Yeah.
She's
well, congratulations.
She goes to thanks. She's a senior at Delta High School, which is a county school up in Muncie, and it's I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to have her on campus and have several sets of eyes on her, watching over her. But it'll be fun having her on campus, in the next 4 years, and just being able to spend some time with her, because honestly, the one thing, that's tough with this gig, and I'm certainly not complaining, but just missing seeing her growing up in some moments, missing some sporting events. And, she was taking her senior pictures today back home. And, but hey, it'll be fun. It'll be fun having her on campus at Ball State. So excited about that.
Well, if she gets tired of, eyes on her, she could always come to Miami, because I don't know if you heard, but I'm the softball coach at Miami Hamilton now. So I'll be in the college ranks this year. So that'll be a little different gig for me. But so far, we had our first team activity last week and just started hitting and throwing, and I was like, ooh, this is totally different than the first day of high school. I mean, it's just kids actually know how to hit a ball and know how to throw a ball. So I'm like, yes.
They put the glove on the right hand.
Yeah, they put the glove on the right hand. I didn't have to ask them, which hand do you throw with? And they look at me like, huh? I don't know.
It's not like that little kid that hits the ball and runs to third base instead of first.
Yeah. Yes. They spin around and do cartwheels going down the line. Yeah, exactly. So,
that's
all
awesome.
right. Well, thank you. So let's move on to we've got some rapid fire questions for you. Okay. So what we're going to do here is, I'll ask a series of questions and you can answer. Then Sam, Carly, and I will answer as well. So there's a couple that we've done with Kathman, so we won't answer those. But for the most part, they're new, and some of them will bring back some memories, and we can, chit chat about that, and, those kind of things. So the first question, here we go. Reds or Bengals? Go with you
Reds.
first, Mike. We'll just
Reds.
Sam. Okay,
Reds.
Sam.
Reds.
I'll go Reds.
I'll go Reds. It's a clean sweep. All right. The Masters or the Open Championship?
I'm going to go with the Open Championship because I played over in Scotland.
I'm going to go with the Masters. Keep it in America.
Your grandmother's from Germany. Just remember that.
Yes, I know. It's a joke. Okay.
I understand that. I know, but
I'll go the Masters.
I'm going to go the Open just because I love that style of course, and plus it's over at 1:00, right? I mean, in the afternoon, so you don't have to wait till 7:00, and usually the Masters on right around Easter, and we're always having Easter dinner, so I always miss the final round. So, all right, here's one that might bring back memories: Fichtner's, Wentz's, or Grandma's field for playing football.
Boy.
And Grandma's is the little one. Yeah, so Grandma's is the one. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm gonna go with Grandma's. Are we talking about side yard?
The side yard, where Bischoff's lived, right by the tennis courts in the park. That was Grandma's. Yeah.
That's Grandma's. Yeah, I'm going with Grandma's. That was the place to be. That's where it all went down.
Yep, it went down. I like Wentz's just because I guess that's where most of the early football went on in the neighborhood. That tree right there, after I would make a tackle or something, you guys would run up the tree and I couldn't climb the damn tree. And then you guys would pelt me with stuff. Make fun of me because I couldn't climb because I was afraid of heights.
That's right.
Yeah. So
I'm sticking with Grandma's yard because that's where I won 12 Heisman trophies when I was younger.
I must not have been playing then. So, all right. So this is for everybody here. If you're going to take a vacation, do you want to go to the beach or the mountains?
Mountains now, beach when I was younger. Does that count?
Beach. That counts.
I guess. Yeah. Since you didn't answer the question, but yeah, we'll let you slide.
Mine was beach.
Because you live in the mountains, right?
Right. Yeah.
Mine's definitely the mountains.
Mine's the beach. I'm a beach bum. I've been a beach boy all my life, and I'm still going to be a Beach Boy. So, all right. Here's one for everybody. Jack or Tiger?
Jack.
Tiger.
I'll say Tiger.
I got to go with Jack. I think it's the age, right? So. Okay.
Right. That's right. I'm in the younger generation.
That's right. You're in the younger. Yeah. All right. So this is just for you, Mike, and Sam. Okay. You can answer this one too. Toughest opponent you faced in golf, either as a coach or a player?
Boy. Can I give three and do it pretty quick?
Yeah. Go ahead.
The year we went to the NCAA championship in 2013, I was coaching. Our team was in a playoff out in Pullman, Washington, against a San Diego State team that had Xander Schauffele and J.J. Spawn. And we beat them in that playoff to get to the national championship.
Wow.
Bryson DeChambeau played for SMU. We played against him several times, and he was – but then again, back at that national championship, we competed against an Alabama team that had Justin Thomas on it. So I'm going to go with a combination of those three.
I thought maybe you'd bring back somebody from the Greensburg sectional that always kicked your butt, because you never won it.
Hey, Randy Domingo and Buck Ginling, they couldn't. Come on, man.
Well, I mean, here's this number one golfer that's supposed to be going on. He can't even get out of his own damn sectional. That's the Batesville curse right there, right? I mean, because we could never get out of the sectionals.
I got out of the sectionals. I couldn't get out of the damn regionals.
Oh, well, there you go. So, Sam, what about you? Do you remember your high school golf career? Who was
I mean, a little bit. Nobody like that, but Will Grimmer was pretty good. He made the U.S. Open as an amateur. So he's probably the best that I ever played. So
he was from Marymount, right?
Marymount, yep.
All right, here you go. This is for everybody.
He still plays over at
Favorite?
Iowa.
Yeah, I think so.
Favorite high school teacher?
Boy. I'm going to say, I just got to show him some love, but Mr. Hayes.
That's who I thought you would say, but
I don't know if he was my favorite, but we had some fun with him.
Yes, we did. Learned a lot, but we also got away with a lot too.
Wait, hold on. Can I take that back? Is Jack Smith be listening to this?
Smitty will be listening to this because he was our very first person that won a trivia.
I'm going with Jack Smith. I'm going with Mr. Smith and Mr. Evans too, as a 1A, 1B.
There you go. But they weren't high school teachers, so you didn't get the question right, Mike. Typical.
Favorites. Mr. Smith, you're my favorite.
Stuck up. I'm surprised you didn't say Melvin. You guys were in the hip pocket or Dunker or somebody like that.
Yeah. Mr. Smith, he's number one.
All right, Sam. You better get this right.
Yeah, I'll keep it going. Mr. Crawley.
Your dad is right here. I taught you. Good God Almighty.
Okay. Yeah,
good answer, Sam. You win the whole day.
Yes, you were my basketball class teacher. Yes. Basketball and strength and conditioning. Yes, that's right. Yeah. But Mr. Crawley's test correction saved my grade in AP Psych. So.
All right, Crawley. Your high school teacher from Ross, Indiana.
That's right. From what?
Ross, Ohio. Sorry.
Ross, Indiana.
Ross, Indiana. I saw the red and white.
I was going to say. Yeah, Ross Rams here. Mrs. Tiemann, when it came to just like the mom teacher you go to for, any like issues and stuff, you go to Mrs. Tiemann. for probably straight academics, it'd be Miss Thomas, who was a math teacher. So,
yeah, I didn't have a mom teacher. I didn't want to go to anybody because if they reminded me of my mom, I didn't want to be there. So, my favorite, probably. I hope she's not listening. I'm out of the will. My favorite high school teacher, I've got two, and it's probably Seawright and Cochran. Those are Z's up there too, but those 2, 3 were right there for me. They did a lot for me, not only as a student, but as an athlete as well. Real quick, we opened up a new day drinking can. It's from 16 Lots. Kenny Anderson's on it. I get a quick review. Crawley, what are you thinking?
I mean, it's it's like the light lager, so it's a more flavorful Miller Lite kind of thing. So
yeah, almost like a Bud Light, Mick Ultra type of, a lot of water flavor characteristics to it instead of the well. But I was coming from a focal banger to this.
Say,
it's like
hopefully that's not on their advertisement, their marketing campaign. A lot of water in this, in the flavor in this.
It's like Ken Anderson, not Hall of Fame material, but it's all right. But he should be Hall of Fame. All right, let's move on.
I like Brink's version better.
Yes,
because that's what we had last week.
It was more flavorful.
The light lager.
Yeah, what is the light? It's only 4.2, so Brink was at 5. So yeah. All right, let's go here. So Friday night, we're cruising around after a big football game. Do we go to DQ or Hardee's for the after game hangout?
This must be a Batesville.
Yeah, this is a Batesville thing. So you can chime in.
We got to go to DQ just because we have to see Millie and Mandy Young and family.
Get that free brownie Sunday Supreme.
Absolutely. Then we go to Hardee's.
That's right. We get the dessert first, then we go get the burgers. So
yeah.
Did you guys have any cruising joints or anything?
We'd go to Skyline after Finneytown losses. So
every night.
We went to Denny's in Coleraine.
Denny's
moons over my hammy. So yeah.
Yep. I think
you guys didn't have a hobo hut.
No, I was going to put that there, but we never went there after a game. So,
no.
So or the Pizza House, So, all right. Favorite golf course you've played at?
I'm going to say St. Andrews. I'm going to tie it in with the Open Championship. Say St. Andrews.
And we did this one with Jeff. Go ahead and Sam, what'd you say?
Yeah, mine was Camargo Country Club.
Yeah.
Yep. And Crawley, I mean, you didn't play, but
right.
but you actually were on the ground.
I've walked the grounds of Pebble Beach, but I didn't play it. But
yep. And mine would be Currituck Country Club when I was golf coach on Currituck High School. So yeah. All right, we got a couple more, 2 more. Best sports moment you've witnessed or been at. I've got one that I thought of for this, and you don't
that
say
we've been at, right? Live, we're talking.
Yeah, live.
Yeah,
either you witnessed or you've been at. Yeah,
I'll stick to being there.
Okay.
I mean, I was at. I had the chance to go one of the World Series games in '90 when the Reds played the A's. In Cincinnati, and I just remember, you watch Glenn Bragg play all year, and the dude just looked like he was chiseled, and he's breaking those bats over his back, and I remember seeing him out on the field and being like, man, he looks even bigger in person, but, we had, 0 chance of winning that World Series, and we swept them, and I just remember Riverfront just being electric, the game that I was at.
Sam?
I was at the game the night before Rose got the hit.
Okay,
so that was kind of a downer. Well, I was at the game the night before Rose got 4-1-9-2. But I mean, it was pretty memorable. But nothing happened, right?
Right. Right. He went 0 for 3 that night. So, Sam, what about you?
But I haven't really been to any like memorable like events. So I don't really have anything. I don't nothing really sticks out
Really?
for me. Yeah.
Finneytown beating Reading on a last second shot, Brad Steinle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll give Brad a little shout out there.
Or you can make fun of Benatendi because you caught his pop up, right?
No, I made a diving play at second, threw him out from my butt. So yeah, we'll go with that one.
There you go.
There we go. We'll go with that one.
All right, Crowley, what about you?
My favorite moment or favorite live was last year, actually. UC Notre Dame at Notre Dame Stadium. Best live game I've ever been to. Just atmosphere, UC fans and students and everything was cool as could be. Another memorable one, kind of on the flip side, not because of the outcome, but just I was at the Brandon Phillips Yachty Molina fight game, whatever year that was, and Johnny Cueto kicking what's his name in the head or whatever, and like ended his career basically. The catcher who was a Red.
It was LaRue, I think, wasn't it?
LaRue. Yeah, Jason LaRue. Yeah, Jason LaRue. That was all. That was crazy just seeing all that going on. So I was there for that game.
I thought of one. I went to the Louisville Clemson game when Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson had their little showdown in 2016, right. I think it was. So yeah, that was a real exciting game. So
nice.
Throw that one in there.
So my game was Reds Cubs 91. It's when Andre Dawson got ejected and all the bats came flying out. And then later is when Doug DeCenso bunted and Dibble picked it up and ran like 3 steps over and just pegged him in the back. It was flashbacks of minor league, me versus Fleck on the mound. Get pegged, So I don't think a Dibble bought him ice cream afterwards. So, but
no Dairy Queen for the 2-0.
No Dairy Queen, But I was with Horseman for that game. So once again, this is how dumb we are. We go up there at 6 a.m. We go to the stadium at 11. Where we walk from the hotel. It's like a 2-mile walk to the stadium, and we're trying to get tickets, and nobody's there. And this guy pulls up and says, "Hey, you going to the game?" I'm like, yeah. He goes, "I'm out of town. I'll sell you the tickets for $10." And I'm like, sure. And I'm looking at the ticket, and it's a damn night game. We didn't even know it was a night game. We go to Chicago, and this is the first year they got lights, So we're at a night game, and all this stuff happens, But the reason I put this question down is because I thought maybe, just maybe, you would reminisce about the best sports moments you witnessed or been at was at the Square at Ball State in 1990 when they beat UNLV in the basketball, and we were all there. And Mark Parrish is up on the light pole. I mean, that thing's shaking, and the whole damn town the whole college is on the square, man. It was unbelievable. I'm surprised you didn't even bring that up.
The question you asked is, which one do you remember? I don't remember a whole lot.
Well, that night that was blurred, but
I do remember when Ball State beat. Yeah, I remember that when we beat we beat Gary Payton and Oregon State. And then we got beat by Hank Larry Johnson and company, UNLV 69-67.
You beat them.
That was the year. What's that?
No, you beat them, didn't you?
No, we beat.
No, you didn't.
We beat Louisville. We beat
Louisville.
Louisville and Oregon State to get to Louisville.
Okay.
To UNLV. We lost by 2 to UNLV. UNLV beat Loyola in the next game. That was the year that Loyola had
Hank Gathers and Bo Kimball. Bo Kimball.
Kimball. Yeah. And UNLV went on and won it that year.
All right. So here's the last one. And this goes back to our junior year in high school. By how many strokes will you give me in a round of golf that I can beat you in? So what are you giving me? 9 holes, yeah. What are you giving me?
9 holes?
9 holes.
I mean, I'm having deja vu right now because it happened. I mean, I think I gave you a shot a hole. I think I gave you 9 strokes.
You did.
And it sounds like earlier in the show that I guess you beat me. Right?
I didn't. Yes, I did beat you by 2. Because I drove with the shots. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So technically I beat you by 7. I mean, I beat you by 7 in 9 holes.
Yeah, but you're supposed to, right? I mean, you're the golfer, and I never played golf, so. But I drove the green and won because it was a temporary green at the time, and it was automatic 2 putt, so I eagled a par 5.
I mean, how many stinking asterisks are we going to throw in here right now?
Hey, it was your course, man. So it was your rules. Yeah. So, but by the time the 4th hole came around, you were fuming. You had smoke. You weren't talking. You weren't laughing. You were just focused. I still lost.
I still felt bad for you. I still felt bad for you because I threw that ball between your shoulder blades and smoked you.
Yeah, well, that's all right. At least I didn't, drive a cart into the creek or the pond. Whoops. It's live on YouTube. They're coming after you. So. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, mercy.
That cart didn't end up in the creek. Somebody put it in the pond. That's what Jim Crudup said when he pulled it out of the creek and saw that the gas tank was full of water. And when we put it in the creek, the gas tank didn't get below the level of the water in the creek. So they figured that one out.
Just left it there. Just left it there.
I had to go play in the state am.
Oh, mercy. All right, so that wraps up the show for tonight. But before we go, what time do you guys tee off tomorrow? And if people want to come and watch you, what's the protocol watching a college golf game?
Yeah, so it's there's a couple different ways. So we tee off at 8. Our first tee time's at 8:45. We play 36 holes tomorrow, which will be continuous play, free admission. Anybody can come out and watch that wants to watch. You can just park right there in the parking lot and come out and find us. And then if you don't, have a chance to get out there live, you can go to what's called golfstat.com and you can follow the live scoring link, and it'll be hole by hole live scoring of the UC Bearcat Invite on golfstat.com.
Awesome. All right. So for Charlie, Sam, and our special guest, Mike, this is Dave. We just want to say thank you again for joining us. And, good luck tomorrow, Mike. Ball State. Hopefully you do really well. And until the next time, everybody, have a great evening. Take care.
See ya.
Thanks, guys. Really enjoyed it.